Hi everyone, thanks for watching Access Hockey MI as always. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. That really helps us just know what you guys are looking for and know that we still have friends that like to talk about hockey. We're not miserable, you are. No, really, we're not. It's fine. But today Rachel's going to tell you what we're going to talk about, but I just wanted to thank you again so much for just watching what we talk about.
I mean, you guys always have our backs. And we
have a lot of fun doing it. Just two broads talking hockey.
Exactly.
So why don't you tell them what we're going to talk about today?
I will. So we're kind of veering in a little bit different direction today with our developmental talk.
Let's vero.
I like that. I should have used that. But we're talking about Detroit-specific guys who are responsible for the development, or at least part of the development of our young prospects. So kind of just taking a different angle on what we typically talk about.
Yeah.
So we're going to be highlighting 3 different guys that are Detroit guys that will be there all season, just kind of how each of their styles and play will impact the future players of our team.
Yeah, and this is important because, of course, we have the development that we always talk about the veterans in Grand Rapids that are helping the prospects, get to the next level. But then once they're at that next level, they're not left alone. They also have those veterans, if you will say. I mean, these are all young guys we're going to talk about, and they're all very experienced guys. But basically just guys who've been around, who know the system, who know the block, and help them just go even further in their careers and move along in their process. So I want to start with Dominik Kubalik, who is one of my personal favorites. I was very excited to see that we got him and also very surprised because he is a very talented player. And I know this because he saved my fantasy hockey team in 2019. Before the shutdown, he literally took me to the playoffs, like him solo, because in his rookie season, he had his best season. That was 46 points in 68 games played. He was on fire. I remember he was getting hat trick after hat trick after hat trick. He fizzled out a little bit during the COVID stuff, and I feel like that you can't really look at those seasons.
Are we allowed to say that word?
I don't know. I don't care.
We'll just add a censor.
Whatever. Don't care. Who cares? But something I like about him, he is a left wing, and he has a very, like I'm saying, a scoring touch, and he's very opportunistic, and he's very fast, and he's very crafty, and he's going to do whatever he needs to do to score and to get the points, and he's done very well in preseason so far also. He's been paired with on the Zadina, and I think he's been with Veleno also, which are 2 guys who I think Veleno plays similarly to Kubalik in a lot of ways, and I think that would be a fast line, and it is a fast line.
A strong line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thereabouts for some. He was drafted, believe it or not, in 2013, 7th round overall, which, again, amazed me.
It's surprising.
Because to me, it went from, 2013 he was drafted, he played in the NHL starting 2019, and so it's kind of like this, well, here he is, and now he's doing amazing. So, yeah, a couple other things. He is going to have a lot of special team trust, I believe, and that's going to be good for the development of the players that are going to be there coming up from the Griffins, the prospects that we're going to have, because we need some special teams help. So I think that he's going to be great for that development. High scoring potential. I think he's going to do amazing this year with scoring. He's very reliable, and I just can't say enough about this guy.
Yeah, he saved your team. I'd be happy too.
He did save my team.
She was going to lose to me in the playoffs.
If we finished playoffs, I would have won.
I had Draisaitl though.
You did, yeah. That's true.
He carried my team.
Yeah, he did. Do you have anything to say about Kubalik?
I do. I liked how you phrased it though, the high scoring potential, because he's got the resume and the track record. And what is astounding to me is that he was a 7th rounder, and I think it just kind of bears as a witness or a testimony really to these later round guys. They do have the potential. There's a reason they're drafted. So, sometimes I can be guilty of it too, is just knocking on the 7th rounders or the late round guys.
Or you just don't look at them because the media is so quick to look at all the first rounders because they're the ones that are supposed to make it immediately and they're supposed to be amazing.
That expectation's so much higher when really it should be the same for all of them. But that he was able to come over and make such an instant impact, and he has already proven to be a very, very valuable asset for our team.
Yeah.
And like Janae had mentioned earlier, these are all younger guys that we're talking about. So there's going to be a lot, I think a lot of consistency with the team, the speed, how they play, the style that they grew up playing. Yeah. It's a different generation now. So I think that will help.
The ages that we're going to talk about range from 26 to 28 for all these guys. So
they're kids.
Yeah. So why don't we talk about our next guy, which is Pius Suter.
Yes, Pius Suter. It really surprised me, is an undrafted player. So when we picked him up, we were getting him out of Chicago.
And we love our undrafteds.
We do like those Cinderella stories. But Chicago had grabbed him out of the Swiss League, and he was doing really well over there. He did fine in Chicago, but when we got him, he had an incredible season. His first season with us was last season. I got to make sure I get this right. It's 36 points in 82 games. I mean, that's really good. He's a centerman, so it's that slot is a coveted spot right now in Detroit.
Yeah, it is.
And he's right now holding down the fort, and he's been primarily all last season almost. He was playing with Zadina on his wing. So he's already been entrusted with that kind of guiding him and helping him with the mature decisions.
He's the youngest of these three that we're talking about.
He is.
I believe
he's 26.
Yeah,
so he's a young guy, but this is only his third season in the NHL with us. Or as a whole. It's just his third season. But what I really like about him is that you can't really tell it's his third season. He plays like he's been there forever. He's absolutely tireless. He's very, like Janae said, opportunistic about Kubalik. A lot of these guys, you're going to see a similar pattern in that where they just do not stop. He doesn't get stuck in that tunnel vision thing where he's like, well, this is my lane. I'm in the center and this is where I stay.
Yeah.
He can play at any part of the ice.
This is so important in developing. Just even hearing you talk about it, it's like this is all very important in development.
It's the mentality you need to have.
Yes.
You need to be able to fit anywhere.
You need a yes sir kind of mentality.
Exactly.
Like,
Hoo-yah.
Play here, yes sir.
Exactly. And
do this better, yes sir.
And Suter, what he said about Detroit is that the reason he actually had a couple contract offers, he chose to come to Detroit because of the age of the guys he was going to be playing with. It was something where he felt like he could relate, and that's huge for chemistry. You can have like a 40-something, if Jágr decided to come back and develop players.
He's still out there.
He is. It's amazing, really. But with Suter, he's got that mentality where he wants to be a leader, and being so young and having that maturity to do so is going to be really important for our young guys coming up, where he wants to fill those roles. He's not getting stuck like, I want to be on the top line. No, he's going to go where he's needed, and that's the mentality he came in with, and that is going to be absolutely critical.
Yeah, and I do think that them all being so close to the age ranges that are coming through the system now is also good for the developing guys who are like, hey, I want to play like that guy. Like, that guy has something. And I do think that Suter has a spark to him, and I remembered seeing him with the Blackhawks, and it's interesting that both these guys we've talked about have come from the Blackhawks organization, so I think that it's going to be really good to have
just
Suter.
Kind of yard sailing their team right now.
Yeah, maybe, and I think these two guys, when we got them, I was like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, you guys let them go, but then again, they have their own development they're trying to go through, so... who knows why they make the decisions they do. I'm glad we were at the end of that benefit, though, so that was great.
The Band-Aid is officially off, and we're hopefully healing now.
Yeah, the third and final guy we want to talk about, not by any means, these are not the only three that are going to be impactful for developing. Of course, there's the Larkin, the Bertuzzis, and, the Roneks and all that stuff, all those guys who will help consistently develop and, plenty more. Olli Maata is someone that I'm really excited about, and he's done very well in the preseason as well. He's a defenseman, and we got him from the Blackhawks also. Either that or the LA Kings. I'll fix it. It'll be fine. He was drafted in 2012. He is a very experienced defenseman. He played with the Pittsburgh, so he was drafted by Pittsburgh, 22nd overall, first round in 2012. Well, duh. But like we're saying, Kubalik being 7th round and Maatta being 1st round, I mean, they're both in the same place now, aren't they? So, I mean, here we are.
Comes back
However, Maatta does bring a ton of experience. He has had countless playoff runs with Pittsburgh Penguins. He was amazing when he played with them. He has 2 Stanley Cups. He's been in the World Championships. He was an Olympian with the...
more Stanley Cups than guys on our team.
Yeah, the Finnish team. He was an Olympian with them.
Yep.
He actually played with Kubalik for one of the seasons he was with the Blackhawks. But something I like about him, besides all of his experience, which is insane because I think he's only 28. So, to have all of that experience behind him, he's coming in with all of that. He's bringing all that knowledge to a team. And because he's going to be on the ice with the guys, it's different than a coach, because he's going to be playing with the guys on the ice. And sometimes it is better to hear from a player or from your teammate what to do instead of, a coach, or to see how it's done, I think he's got a very smart shot, and he's crafty. He's always where he needs to be, and I think those are very big deals for a defenseman. So if he can keep just doing what he's clearly been doing, I think that he is a great addition, and I think he'll be great for development. I also think not only for development, but I think it's a big shot for him too, because he has a big opportunity to be one of those relied upon defensemen. And I think that that's going to be great going forward for the Red Wings and for development, too.
Yeah, I was absolutely stunned when we got him.
Yeah.
Because I remember when he was in Pittsburgh, and I hated him.
Comes with the team.
Yeah, exactly. All these guys that didn't like their former teams.
I know.
It's like, we love you now. It's like, if you leave, though, we're very big on loyalty. But with Maatta, when he was with Pittsburgh, he was one of those guys that you did see everywhere in defensemen. I mean, there's a lot fewer defensemen on a team than there are forwards, so they do get a ton of ice time in comparison. But he was one of the guys, I mean, he had to have been getting close to 25 to 28 minutes a night, just these insane numbers. And he was always doing something, and I don't think he ever played like he was new or like he was inexperienced, even when he was a rookie. So with us bringing that kind of maturity into it, and it is a big deal, like Janae said, being on the ice with these defensemen, we have a lot of young kids coming
and
through.
a lot of defensemen coming through, too.
A lot of defensemen, and a lot of them, they're really, really good, but they still have to mature in how they play. It's not just a one-man army out there.
They even if they're really good, like even Moritz Seider, he doesn't have the resume, if you will, that Maatta has,
right.
So to have someone like that come in who has that even on Seider and who he can even learn from. So we're not just talking about like new guys like Johansson or Edvinsson coming up. We're talking also about the guys who are still in their prime, which would be, I mean, Seider, he's still young. He's still
young.
Working on his craft. He can still be better,
And you've got Roenick, too, which is still a younger guy. You've got Gustav Lindstrom, which is another younger guy. And these guys, they're going to be the ones he's playing with.
Yep.
And I feel like Maatta is one of those versatile guys, too, that he can do back-to-back shifts, no problem, and serve on any pairing and try help those guys along. I feel like his style fits wherever
being close to age, I think it'll be great to have that, too. And also, I mean, Vero, he's also finished.
Yep.
So that's probably fun.
Yeah.
Just
a thought. The boy can shoot. So that's kind of important.
It's a really big deal. So basically, just to summarize, these three guys to us seem really important to the development of the guys coming up in the prospects pool, as well as the guys who are already there and maybe on the younger scale who are still trying to develop and still would glean any information from these guys that they could, because these guys are very talented and experienced guys that we've gotten, which is, I think, the idea of free agency.
Right.
And I think probably what was on the mind of Yzerman and company when getting these guys. Like, we need guys who can play alongside as we're developing this team.
Right.
And who can help us with that.
And
because
buy into it.
It's not just coaching. It's also your team. If your team pushes you to be better also, then you have a better chance. So I'm not sure fully what the season will look like. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to know, of course, right away. But I do think that these guys are going to be a good tool for the development.
It'll help spur on a lot of tenacity right out the gate, I think.
Yeah.
Just having that type of chemistry going. And I think they do finally have...
chemistry and competition.
Yeah. It seems like they do have that finally after so many seasons, that they actually have a system, or at least a team, where they can feed off of each other.
Or at least guys who can, be plugged in. Like, all right, this one's not working. You work with anybody. You go in. So
people who are reliable, and you want reliable teams. You can't have a guy out there that all he has is solid skill, but he plays with himself the whole time.
Yeah.
That's absolutely useless to the development and growth and success of a team. And all of these guys, I think, will help foster the camaraderie.
Yeah, I agree. So let us know in the comments what you think about these three guys, or who else on the team you think would be a good person to note for the development of our young guys coming up, and also the guys on the team already. Let us know what you think, what you thought about preseason, and maybe what you think about the season going forward. Again, we're going to do a video basically one of these days on the rosters that come out, because we didn't want to speculate too much without seeing what actually is there, and then we can react to what we see. So it'll just be better if we see the list in front of us. We speculate enough. So.
Everybody does this time of year.
So, again, let us know in the comments what you think of everything so far. And also, both seasons start on October 14th. So our lives are going to get very busy very soon.
If you start seeing bags, it's because we're
Don't come at us.
You shush.
Anyway, let us know again in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.